Hi, Professor Sheri here, but I'm wishing I was back in Carcassonne. Hotel de la Cite is my second favorite hotel in all of France. The simple but elegant front desk welcomes you into the only five-star hotel within the city walls, complete with everything you might expect. Pools, plural, a spa, a library, private gardens, a Michelin-starred restaurant, another restaurant, free breakfast, solid stone walls, an interesting gift shop, and all of this is in the middle of a medieval fortress.
Sheri and I left Paris for Carcassonne on a TGV, which is the one that goes to Barcelona, which was a really fun trip. It was also the only train that we took our whole vacation that was late. There were some train issues on the track. It did not go all the way to Carcassonne. We had to stop once and change trains. And this is the view out of the window of our train as we were coming into the station at Carcassonne.
Being a UNESCO World Heritage Site means beautiful views everywhere. The hotel is nestled between the Roman chateau and Saint Nazaire Basilica. Turrets on one side and God on the other. Does it get any better than this?
Here is an aerial view of Carcassonne. This is where our hotel is located. This is the main church of Saint Nazaire. You can see is right next door. And then here is the castle of the Troncavilles. Here is the gate of the main gate to the city. Then you have the small little village all gathered in between. There's about 800 residents that live there. It gets a little bigger in the summer. You can see the fortification. Well, here we are at the entrance of the Hotel de la Cité. Now, this is not a cheap place to stay. Obviously, from what Sheri said, Michelin star restaurants, and so on. We paid $178 a night, but you can pay a lot more. And you can see it's connected to the church because this used to be the bishop's palace. And then it's been restored, renovated. And once you go in the door, there's our check-in. They have concierge service. They have all kinds of service. Whatever your needs are, they can give them to you. And then the gentleman took us to our room. Now, this is a maze. It took us a little while to get used to it because we went up an elevator, out on a regular floor, then across a stairwell that we found out later on led down to the business center, and then up a flight of stairs and a couple of other jogs, and then we were there in our hotel room. And once we got inside, this was the magnificent view. You had a little porch there, and you look out on the fortified city, and ours actually looked down onto the terrace where you could have breakfast or dinner or whatever you wanted to. You go to the swimming pool. It was drizzling a little bit when we first arrived, but since we're staying in the medieval city, you don't expect this to be cheap. There were other accommodations that were cheaper, but come on, we're going to be here just a couple of days. We just wander through the city just on our own. So it was well worth it, well worth it. From our view of the balcony, it's time to look at the rest of the room. So here is the most important part, or one of them, the bed. Nice queen-sized bed, very soft, very nice to sleep on. And then here is the main area, the television, which we almost never use when we're traveling. I will, of course, set up my computers there and take care of all the pictures and things. Then it's into the bathroom. They have a really large bathtub and a nice vanity and a toilet as well. And then a nice view out the window where you can look down and see the seated area where you can have, like I said, lunch or breakfast, or I believe you can even have dinner there if you want to, or afternoon drinks. And then a view out over the rest of the town. So once we've settled in, unpacked our suitcases, it's time to go wandering around the inside of the city. Before we head out into the city of Carcassonne, it's time to do some exploring. So going back down the hallway, we come to the turret step. We decide instead of walking across, we're going to go downstairs. So we're going down what would have been probably one of the turrets. And at the bottom, we end up in the business center. There are also suites that are down there as well. And we wandered around there for a little bit. And fortunately, nobody was there, so we didn't have to go, well, what are you doing down here? Well, we're just peasants looking to see where the masters are. So we then go back upstairs, walk outside in front of the hotel. We see a group of people there on that one street, and we're going to basically make a lap around the city. And I'll do a tour of the inside of the city in a separate show. This is mostly about the hotel. So we went all the way around. We found a wonderful local restaurant that had been there for centuries, and we actually had lunch and dinner there all the time. We just had breakfast in the hotel. Then walked back, found a couple of jewelry stores, some clothing stores, some nice souvenir other places. And then on our way back into the hotel, there's the church at Saint Nazaire, and we will also visit that as well later.
I like a healthy and hearty breakfast when we travel. While I will probably find enough coffee shops to fuel my addiction, we may only catch a snack before dinner. This lovely and free buffet breakfast offers everything you can think of and way more sweets and breads and other carbs than any of us really need.
After breakfast, Sheri and I are headed off to the Tronqueville Castle, where we're going to tour the castle first and then walk the upper fortification. But on the way out, I thought I'd snap a few pictures to show you the interior of the lobby area. Here we have the sitting area, the lounge area, where the library is located. There are a lot of books on that shelf I would have liked to have stuffed in my suitcase, but that is not exactly good manners. And then here is another one of the sitting rooms, and then this is the hallway leading out to the main door where the concierge is, as well as the main entrance to the hotel. Out into the city we go.
Private gardens are well cared for and are very calming. With a high number of trees and shrubs, the blooming flowers are tucked into large terracotta pots, enabling them to be changed out with the seasons and placed in the sunny sitting areas, while leaving this leafy green glade and garden for more peaceful walks. My pseudo-royal self can imagine strolling along the wall, wearing my elegant silk brocade and velvet gown, a few gems added here and there for sparkle, my personal maid trailing behind me carrying a chilled bottle of champagne, while I look down into the simple homes of those who depend on Bob and myself for their protection.
As you can tell, Sheri really enjoyed wandering around the back of the hotel. And I did as well, because look at the view of this fortification back wall with the Tronqueville Castle right there in front of you. And then you turn a little bit and you see the extensive grounds that this hotel has. Now, it was a beautiful day. Sun was out. You could actually see the Pyrenees Mountains. And then we walked the other end, and there's the backside of the church, which has the connection that goes to the old bishop's palace. And then there is the swimming pool. Now, we were here in late May, and it was too chilly to get into the water.
I can't see my water aerobic class in this garden pool. Maybe we're just supposed to recline in the poolside lounges and wait for Henri to bring that champagne martini? Well, I can dream, can't I?
With this final picture of the back of the hotel, Sheri and I would hope that sometime you get to come to Carcassonne, and we highly recommend staying here at the Hotel de la Cite Carcassonne. Thank you very much. Sheri and I hope you enjoyed the tour. Please come by our YouTube channel at Bob Packett on YouTube. It should be History According to Bob, but it comes up as Bob Packett. That's the easiest way to get to it. And please subscribe and leave some comments. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please subscribe, give a comment, and if you like history, please come by historyaccordingtobob.com website, where I do 6 podcasts a week on different topics in history, and there's all sorts of CDs and other things that you can see. So thank you very much.